Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Welcome everybody to the Great State Fair of Texas. I'm Victoria Lara.
And I'm Lincoln Revel. Thank you for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. We are about halfway through this year's State Fair. The fair opened on September 28th and it will close its doors on October 20th.
So that means everyone has just enough time to get down here to Fair Park for the 132nd Annual State Fair. And you know what, Lincoln, I think it's amazing that we have the longest running state fair in the nation.
Well, you know, Victoria, everything is bigger in Texas, so I do think that makes sense. We've got some amazing stories to share with you, so let's get to it.
First of all, let's start off with a few state fair facts. Did you guys know that Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, performed here in 1956? Back in 1897, the featured exhibit was an 80,000-pound whale that had been preserved in embalming fluid. Here's a football fact. The Dallas Cowboys played at the Cotton Bowl here at Fair Park until 1968. Now, what are the busiest days? Well, that should be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday just before the fair closes. And last year, over 2 million people attended the state fair. Now, if we're supposed to have this weather that we're supposed to have this weekend, some potentially good weather, we just might break that record.
Now, I am really hoping for some good weather this weekend because it is a little muggy out here. I really hope that did not keep anybody from coming to the state fair today.
Well, as Texans, I don't think any weather is going to hold us back from our very own state fair.
Well, with that being said, let's throw things over to Kia for a look at the first weather. Kia?
That's right, Lincoln. Guys, if you're not here right now at the State Fair, not only are you missing out on good foods or the great atmosphere, but you're missing out on the perfect weather to experience the fair. Guys, let's go ahead and take a look at what I have for you guys for our current conditions. Right now, guys, we're sitting at 86 degrees right now with cloudy skies, feeling like 89 degrees because of that wind speed coming in just south at 20 miles per hour. Now let's go ahead and move on into what I have for you guys for tonight. Guys, we're gonna have isolated thunderstorms throughout the Metroplex. Temperature is gonna be at 73 degrees, which feels like 75 degrees because of that wind speed coming in just northwest at 9 miles per hour. Now, as we move on to our work day at 9 a.m., expect that cold front we've been anticipating, as well as those isolated thunderstorms. Temperature is going to be sitting at 63 degrees, which feels like 75 because of that same wind speed coming in just northwest at 9 miles per hour. Now, guys, stick with us throughout the rest of the show to see if you're going to need that umbrella or that jacket. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Kia. Let's hope things stay dry just for a little bit longer. The State Fair of Texas has been around for 132 years, and it's been in this exact same spot, Fair Park, since it began. Now, a lot of people really like to come for the amazing food we have, from corny dogs to cotton candy, and really just any unusual fried food that you could imagine. Food and the State Fair simply go together. The very first time people got a chance to taste the famous corny dog was back in 1942, but the corny dog was just the beginning. The Big Tex Awards are given out each year for the best fair food, and the competition is always intense.
You know, Victoria, this is the 15th annual Big Tex Choice Awards, and as usual, all the food options are, well, unusual.
So we're standing in the middle of a lot of food, and I can smell everything, and it's making me very hungry. Our very own Nomi Sanchez is here with all the suggestions for what you should be eating. Nomi?
Thanks, guys. So it's amazing to see all the crazy food combinations here at the State Fair. The sweetest treat tonight, though, would definitely have to be the black gold truffle. This delicacy is a Big Tex Choice Awards finalist, and is basically made with cookie crumbs, white chocolate chips, and cream cheese all mixed together and deep fried to make delicious balls of goodness. ntTV's Brandon Rudakavla will tell us more about this. Let's take a look.
Satisfy your sweet tooth. Stop by Han Mueller's for some black gold truffles.
We've got several locations on ground. 3 locations serves the truffles, and this is our premier location, our biggest spot. This is where we fry the truffles, and what it is a crushed Oreo cookie with sour cream made into a ball. The sour cream kind of holds it together, and then a graham cracker crust, and then we cover it with marshmallows, some chocolate sauce. After, of course, it's been fried, just to give it a little bit of tenderness, and they taste great, cold or warm, either way, and they're a great dessert.
And if you're looking for something a little more fishy, head down to the Gulf Coast Grill, where the food will have you hooked.
The Gulf Coast Grill is what we call a soft area. It's a place where you can eat, drink, relax. I've had a lot of good luck with the Big Tex Choice Awards fried food contest. This year I have a finalist, which is my Texas cream corn casserole fritters. With the sauce is a cream corn queso blanca. And then my semifinalist is actually doing almost as well as my finalist. I have the Cajun crab bombs, which are on the sign right here behind me. We have Maryland style crab cakes, which means very little filler, real lump crab meat with a shrimp inside, remoulade, and hush puppy.
So come sink your teeth into something delicious at the State Fair. But hurry, because they close October 20th.
As you can see, the stars in the night sky aren't the only thing that shine big and bright here in Texas. I'm gonna go get some truffles, but for now, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Nomi. Now, besides all of those great fried foods that Nomi and Brandon showed us, there's another part of the State Fair that's taking a real mean green look.
Walk through the State Fair of Texas. One of the many attractions you'll see is the Arrow McCoy Greenhouse on the Midway. This greenhouse is home to hundreds of different vines, shrubs, and crops that are grown using a method of farming called hydroponics.
This is probably the only place you're going to find anywhere in the area where you can see this many different styles of hydroponics going on under one roof.
Hydroponics is a farming process that involves sand, gravel, or water, but no soil is involved or used. However, the thing that makes this greenhouse really special is that it is devoted to making sure that South Dallas families have something healthy to eat.
That's our goal, you know. We want to send people here in Southern Dallas area home with something that is just packed full of nutrients and vitamins for them.
The greenhouse donates all of its produce to community projects around South Dallas, like food pantries and homeless shelters.
100% of the vegetables that we grow here get donated to nonprofit groups here in South Dallas.
As well as being at the State Fair, the greenhouse on the Midway does more community projects on its own. Some of these projects include youth camps that show kids how plants grow.
A lot of the kids have never seen a vegetable growing before, let alone hydroponics, and we get them their first exposure to what agriculture looks like.
The greenhouse was started by partners Drew Demler and Jason Hayes, and they still work together today.
He knew that I knew how to grow vegetables, so I'd been growing it for fun, and he kind of pitched the idea to me about starting some type of a community garden. It's the coolest thing I've ever done, for sure.
If you haven't gotten a chance to see the greenhouse on the Midway, you still have a little over a week to make it out to the fair and check it out.
Coming up, we have updates on two big stories we've been following here in North Texas.
And we'll tell you about a special opportunity for people at the fair. Stay with us.
Every time you let go of balloons, they leave the troposphere, sail past the clouds, and enter the stratosphere where they eventually lose their helium. Then they come back down to Earth where they can disturb ecosystems by landing in ponds and lakes where cute little turtles and bubbly fish can then choke on the remains. But the trouble doesn't stop there. Balloons can also land in power lines where they can create surges that knock out electricity, meaning the apocalypse as we know it. No power, no Wi-Fi, no Twitter, no order. Just a world engulfed in chaos where fire is law and human beings are forced to communicate face to face. So don't let it happen. Don't let them go.
To a child battling a critical illness, a wish can feel like a dream. But with your help, it isn't out of reach. Wishes are an important part of medical treatment. A chance for kids to see themselves stronger, braver. To see that the impossible is possible. Wishes can give kids the strength to fight, to get better, to grow up. Where there's a wish, there's a way.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it. First impression. My way in. But, here's the thing. Can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Can one piece of paper really tell you my whole story? Like, that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or how anytime there was an opportunity, I was the first one to step up. Because I wasn't gonna let my life, my circumstances dictate who I was gonna become. And all of that determination, commitment, drive, that's me. And that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume, discover new ways to develop great talent, like me.
UNT is investigating two sexual assault cases that took place in September, both in West Hall. Based on the investigation, UNT police have determined that both were made by the same offender, and he is not affiliated with the campus.
We did the initial interview, and then he was issued a criminal trespass warning for UNT. Thus far, he's been cooperative with the investigation, so we don't believe that he's a threat to return to the campus. He understands that if he does, he'll be arrested, that that's part of the criminal trespass warning.
Students are encouraged to come forward with any information they have regarding these offenses. The man accused of the El Paso shooting that took place in El Paso, Texas was arraigned this afternoon. Patrick Cruces has been indicted on a charge of capital murder. The 21-year-old drove 11 hours to El Paso from his hometown of Allen, Texas on August 3rd. Cruces told police he was targeting Mexicans in the massacre, and authorities are treating the shooting as domestic terrorism. The district attorney of the case intends to seek the death penalty.
A.m. to 1 p.m., the State Fair hosts something called sensory-friendly mornings, Now, the fair welcomes more than ever people with autism, other intellectual disabilities, their families, and really anyone who can benefit from a sensory-friendly experience.
So he's 7 months and he has definitely enjoyed the room. It is a quiet zone and it is for our sensory-friendly days, but I have nursed him in here and that's been very convenient as a nursing mother at the fair. We see all types of families. If they just need a break, if a child seems overwhelmed, then they can kind of come in here and take a break and get their bearings together.
Now, on top of making both sound and light adjustments, the State Fair is going to provide a guided itinerary so that everyone experiencing sensory-friendly mornings has the best time. You know what? I heard Kia say earlier that we might see some rain, and I'm just really hoping that doesn't happen.
Now, honestly, I kind of hope that it does, because if we do get some rain, I came prepared.
Lincoln's prepared, and so is Kia with our full weather forecast. Kia?
Well, Lincoln, it's a good thing that you brought that umbrella because you just never know when you might need it in Texas, especially tonight. But let's go ahead and take a look at what I have for you guys for across the Metroplex here. Guys, we have Denton sitting at 86 degrees, as well as Gainesville and Bowie. We have Sherman at 87 degrees, as well as Fort Worth. We have Decatur, McKinney, and Dallas all sitting at 88 degrees, guys. Sulphur Springs and Stephenville at 88 degrees as well. And we have Graham sitting at 90 degrees. Guys, let's go ahead and take a look at what I have for you guys across the state here. Like I said, guys, Denton is sitting at 86 degrees. Now, Amarillo is experiencing that cold front a little earlier than we are. They're sitting at 56 degrees and Oklahoma City at 64. We've got Abilene at 88 degrees, Austin at 93, Houston at 91, and Shreveport at 90. Now, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at what I have for our 7-day forecast. Like I mentioned earlier, guys, tonight we're going to have those isolated thunderstorms with a high of 89 and a low of 45. Moving on to our weekend, we're going to have partly cloudy skies tomorrow with a high of 63 and a low of 37. Now, for Saturday, we're going to have a high of 66, but we're going to have some sun out, so it's not going to be too bad. Now, moving on to our work week on Monday, guys, we're going to have mostly cloudy skies, a high of 86 and a low of 67. And on that Tuesday, we're going to have that same mostly cloudy skies with a high of 86 and a low of 52. And as we end our 7-day forecast on Wednesday, we're going to have those sunny skies with a high of 73 and a low of 50. So Lincoln, like I said, you just never know when you might need that umbrella or also when you might need that coat to keep you warm. But that's all I have for you guys for our full weather. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks so much, Kia. You know, it really looks like we're going to have a good week of weather.
Sounds good. So we will be right back after this.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. Already posted it.
It's pretty.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it. First impression. My way in. But here's the thing. Can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Can one piece of paper really tell you my whole story? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or how anytime there was an opportunity, I was the first one to step up. Because I wasn't gonna let my life, my circumstances dictate who I was gonna become. And all of that determination, commitment, a drive, that's me. And that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent like me.
One of the new and truly unique events here that is taking place at the State Fair, surprisingly, has nothing to do with food, animals, or the Midway itself. In fact, it has nothing to do with humans at all. It's called Fiestas de Marionetas. It's about, it brings to life a small village filled with people who really are marionettes. ntTV's Mercedes Aragosa and Jonathan Sosa bring you this puppet adventure.
New attraction is being debuted at the State Fair of Texas, and it has strings attached.
Fiestas de Marionetas is a marionette show based on Hispanic culture. The show includes over 100 handmade puppets made by local artists, and although it's a new production, it has no problem attracting fairgoers.
And in our experience, even if we start with a small audience, because people hear and see, it just grows and grows and grows. And by the end, we have people standing on the steps, looking over fence lines. It's a lot of fun.
From mariachis to the queen of Tejano music herself. The show is filled with iconic symbols of Hispanic culture, taking a journey through its history. And don't think that the show is just for young audiences. Guests of all ages can be a part of the fun.
The reactions are very similar between children and adults. It brings out the child in everybody.
Fiestas de Marionetas is also taking part in the fair's sensory-friendly mornings, a time of day where all stimuli are reduced for fair guests with sensitivity to high-pressure situations.
We have adapted our show to the sensory-friendly family groups because we had to lower our volume, but we also have technical elements in our show that we had to remove, like confetti cannon, even bubbles.
Regardless of who you are or where you come from, Fiestas de Marionetas is sure to leave a smile on your face.
We love this show. My daughter couldn't keep her eyes off of it. She is enthralled the whole time.
And after that wonderful performance, you could take a little piece of the show home with you. For ntTV News, I'm Mercedes Zaragoza.
You know what, I gotta say, I think those puppets dance better than I do. I love it.
Now, while I love hearing about marionettes, I have to say I'm more interested in what the Cowboys are up to. So, Sarah, do you have any news for us?
How about them Cowboys? Well, listen, they are coming off of a really tough loss to the Green Bay Packers last weekend, but this weekend is full of exciting sports action, including the Cowboys, the Stars, and a really exciting showdown happening right here at the Texas State Fair this weekend. I'll give a preview of all the action coming up next.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But here's the thing, can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Can one piece of paper really tell you my whole story? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or how anytime there was an opportunity, I was the first one to step up. Because I wasn't gonna let my life, my circumstances dictate who I was gonna become. And all of that determination, the commitment, the drive, that's me. And that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume, discover new ways to develop great talent, like me.
I rescued Toast from a shelter in 2011. I love Toast because she's a lazy diva. Toast does whatever she wants, obviously. She's sleeping right now. She's an epic snuggler. She's so comforting. She's so loving. Toast makes me laugh. When I walked into the shelter, I knew right then that she was special.
I was wondering, are we doing that?
UNT goes on the road this weekend to face off against Southern Mississippi. Both teams are 1-0 in Conference USA so far this season, but that's not the only thing these two teams have in common. Both teams' quarterbacks are semifinalists for the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. Past winners of this prestigious award include Peyton and Eli Manning, Colt McCoy, and most recently Gardner Minshew. The Dallas Cowboys are also on the road this weekend and will face off against the New York Jets on Sunday. Jets quarterback Sam Darnold will start against the Cowboys after missing 4 weeks with mono. However, tight end Chris Herndon is out for the game. The Cowboys' offensive line could be without left tackle Tyron Smith and right tackle Lyle Collins, both of whom did not practice this week. The Dallas Stars face off against the Calgary Flames tonight at the American Airlines Center. The Stars are coming off of a thrilling overtime road win against the Washington Capitals on Tuesday. The Stars have gotten off to a slow start this season and are looking to capitalize on the momentum of their first win. And finally, one of the biggest rivalries in all of college football is happening right here at the Cotton Bowl this weekend. The annual Red River Showdown between the Oklahoma Sooners and the Texas Longhorns kicks off this Saturday at 11 a.m., and both teams have high expectations. Oklahoma quarterback Jalen Hurts is a front-runner for the Heisman Trophy, but Texas quarterback Sam Ehlinger created some Heisman buzz of his own last weekend with a convincing victory over West Virginia. No matter who comes out on top, this game is one of the must-watch college football games of the season, so you won't want to miss it. And that's all I've got for sports.
I love football, but Lincoln, I got a question for you. Are you a car person?
You know, Victoria, I really am a car person. I'm a fan of Porsches, Lamborghinis, basically all the nice cars.
So nothing I can afford, basically. We have our very own Shaji Adam at the Auto Show Pavilion right now with what's hottest. Shaji?
Hey, thanks so much. I actually got to experience the auto show earlier today, as you're seeing behind me, and it truly was a sight to see. All major automobile companies got to unveil some really cool stuff, and all the people got to enjoy it. Not only that, they actually were able to sit in the cars, kind of get a feel for it, kind of see how big the automobile industry is. Also, later on, they actually unveiled some futuristic cars, and I got to tell you, when I first saw them, my jaw hit the ground. I could not believe how far technology has come, and it's only getting bigger. They also had a simulation type thing where you get to sit in a chair and kind of experience what it's like to be in one of those cars. It's truly amazing what can happen here at the State Fair, and it really is awesome. But now I'm going to hand it over to Andrew here. And Andrew, you had to say something here right outside the Hall of State. You want to tell me about it?
Yeah, so we're right outside the Hall of State, and will follow me over to this building. It's a Texas-sized building with a Lone Star exhibit on Texas cinema. Hannah Burns has the story.
Rides and games are not the only attractions at the State Fair. You can visit a museum in the Hall of State at Fair Park for a cinematic experience.
It's called Texas Cinema, and so in this exhibit we feature Texas filmmakers, we feature artists or actors and actresses born in Texas.
The Texas Cinema exhibit is home to many film treasures. The exhibit also strives to be inclusive and educational.
The great thing about this exhibit is it kind of touches everybody. Everyone loves a movie, all right? So it's not really just one specific audience. A lot of the original, what they call race films, African American movies were produced in Dallas in the 1920s in Deep Ellum. So we have a section on that.
Texas Cinema could not have been successful without our border neighbors. The exhibit highlights Tejano culture in film, food, and fiestas.
The history of film, and as a historical society, our job is to educate, entertain and educate at the same time. There's a lot of things that have been kind of introduced by both sides and adopted to where it's now just known as Tex-Mex.
And you might even find some of your favorites at this exhibit.
The 1969 version of The Alamo is one of my favorite movies about Texas.
Reporting for ntTV News, I'm Hannah Burns.
Well, you guys heard it. I'm going to go inside, join my friend Hank Hill, get a nice cold drink. For now, I'll send it back to Victoria and Lincoln outside the Cotton Bowl.
Okay, cool. So big text after that.
Okay. You know what, guys? Thanks so much, Shaji. I saw a lot of cars again that I cannot afford, but we finally got something to eat, you guys.
Yes,
finally.
I'm
so excited.
I got a pickle on the stick.
I got a hot dog. Pretty plain and generic,
I got
but
fried banana sundae, I believe.
that sounds
I'm
good.
going old reliable with the funnel cake, and I cannot wait.
Let's
So I'm
go,
gonna do it
guys.
right
All right, guys, you ready?
I can't bite it. Okay,
Live
that's
up to
can I have a bite?
expectations.
Lincoln is taking too long with his food, guys. How
I'd
is
say
it?
that's a win.
That's a
I'd say that's a win.
satisfying look to me. Thank you so much for joining us here at the State Fair. Join us again tomorrow night at 6 p.m. here on North Texas Television.